Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Tim. I have Robby with me once again for Back to Basics podcast number 5.
Sorry we had to take some time off, but, just life got busy and that's gonna happen, so
Yeah.
Sorry about the delay on this podcast.
That's mostly my fault. I bought a house, or am buying a house, and that's a lot of work.
Well, I was out of town last weekend too, so it's partially my fault too.
Yeah.
But basically, we just stopped caring about you guys for a week.
What do you mean a week? I never cared about you guys. I did this for my own enjoyment. If no one could watch, I would still be doing this. And then just listen to myself talk. Ah, yes. Right before I go to sleep. Turn on my podcast and sweet, sweet sound of my voice.
Alright, well, now that we've gotten all that out of the way...
One other minor note. We're going to try to shoot for a half hour because, as you may have noticed, I really try to make the editing high quality, and put up all the cards that we name. So, yeah, that takes a long time. So we're gonna go for a half hour until maybe I have more time. So anyhow, I did not have time to play in the pre-release this past weekend. As I said, I'm buying a house, and that's really a lot of work. But however, Robby did play, and I'm going to ask him some of the things that I want to know.
I actually got to play in 2 of them, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah? How'd you do?
In the first one I played in, there was 29, 30 people, something like that in there, and I got first in that one.
That's good. It's always good to get first.
And in the second one I played in, there was 8 people, and I got second in that one. Should have got first in that one too, but...
Should have done better.
Man, screw. I mean...
Yeah, you should have done better.
I know, but...
That's... Okay, so we can sidetrack for just a second.
Oh, we don't need to tell that story. It's just an inside joke about
Yeah,
long ago. My very first tournament.
Yep.
Very first non-junior tournament. My very first tournament I was playing with adults. I was like 8 years old at that time, something like that.
You were very young.
8, maybe 9 at the oldest.
Right.
And I got second place, and I'm all excited. And my dad just kind of looks at me, he's like, you should have done better. So needless to say, there was never any pressure on me to be good at this game. Even as a young age, it was always just for fun. Never competitive at all.
Right. So, you ended up getting first. What did you play?
When I got first, my guild I picked was Selesnya, and my random guild was Simic, so I was in Bant.
Bant.
Very, very good. And,
whenever I think of Bant, I always think of, Rox. What's that guy?
Rox Warmonk?
Yeah.
I think of...
The 3/4?
Yeah, I think of Rafika the Many.
Yeah.
That's what I think of Bant. But
I played a lot of Rafik.
Played a lot, yeah. I loved that deck. That deck was Mythic Bant. That deck was so fun.
It was.
Hey, my standard deck is worth like $2,000, and
yeah, I'm gonna use this as a down payment for a house. Here's my deck. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But we kind of got sidetracked there again.
Oh, us? Getting sidetracked? No way. Go on, do tell.
But, so, in the Selesnya pack I opened, I got a Luxodon Smider, which is pretty good. Like, he's real good. I got the Guild Mage.
Okay.
Which just wins games. And I got a couple other pretty solid cards. Like,
Wait,
I got
which Guild Mage, though?
the Selesnya Guild Mage. It's in the Selesnya pack.
Okay.
Every card in there is Selesnya.
Okay.
Because you're picking a guild.
Right.
And you're going to get 2 guild packs in it.
Yep.
So, I got a Selesnya Guild Mage, I got a Horncollar's Chant, and Courser's Accord. So I got some pretty good cards there.
Yep.
And then in the Simic pack, I got what was maybe the MVP of the tournament for me, Simic Manipulator. Do you know how good that thing is when you can start populating 3/3s?
I forget what it does.
It's a 0/1 for 2 blue and 1, and it has Evolve, and you can remove +1/+1 counters from it to take a creature whose power is equal to or less than the +1/+1 counters you remove.
Okay, wow.
So if you're just populating your 3/3s out there, you're just like, and so now he's a 3/3, so now that guy's mine too. Wow. And I'm going to populate some more, and now that guy's mine too. In match 2, my opponent never got to keep a creature.
Wow.
He played a creature, like, populate, take it. Played a guy, take it. Like, I believe he got 1 extort trigger out of his creatures, and none of them were ever able to turn sideways.
Aww.
So he did 1 damage, but then I was playing white, so I could use extort triggers too, so I extort and I got it back.
Vengeance.
But, I picked Simic, or not Simic, I picked Selesnya in both drafts, or both sealed, because it's the only guild I think works great with every other potential allied guild. Because the allied guilds are only the guilds from the set it isn't in.
Right.
So I was looking, okay, so I can get Naya with either Boros or Gruul. I'm really happy with that.
Right.
I can get Bant with Simic. I'm happy with that. Or I can get Orzhov, which means I get access to Extort and Removal. Okay. Like, I'm happy with all of those options.
Right.
So I was like, I thought it was going to be the most consistently good sealed pool you can get. So that's why I went with that.
And you avoid Demir that way, right?
You avoid Demir. So,
that's always a plus.
So I'll give a little quick oversight of the first tournament, how it went. Round 1, I played a guy who picked Demir, and, well, you can bet that didn't go very well. And he got Rakdos as an allied guild, so Demir Rakdos,
That's probably the best combination ever. The two worst that we thought were the worst, right? Or was it Boros?
Rakdos actually ends up being pretty good. I'll talk about Rakdos
Was it
here.
Boros and Demir that we thought were the worst?
Yeah.
That's right.
I know a lot of people who try to do Boros, and the only time the Boros ever did good is if they got the Rakdos pack with it, and they were just faster than the rest of the decks.
Right. I don't think I would pick Boros in the sealed.
I didn't either. I mean, I love Boros, but...
I was thinking Orzhov is what I would pick, but after discussing it with some other people, I probably would have went with Selesnya as well.
But he was playing, what is red, blue, black, red? Is that Grixis?
Yep.
He was playing Grixis. And one, he just had a weaker card pool because he was playing two colors that try to do completely opposite things, basically. Two guilds that are just completely opposite of each other. He had no synergy. And he was kind of a newer player, so he also built his deck completely wrong.
And played completely wrong, too.
Played after completely wrong, too. But luckily enough for him, pre-releases aren't deckless tournaments, so you can change your deck in between rounds. So after I just kind of thumped him in 2 games, I was like, oh, here are these 5 removal spells you're not playing for some reason. Take out these terrible creatures and play these.
Remember, bread, people. Bread. Bombs, removal, evasion, activated abilities, dudes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I think just abilities, because I don't think necessarily it has to be activated. You could have triggered in there too. Yeah, but abilities, dudes.
Abilities.
But yeah, I mean, he just wasn't playing good removal, and so yeah, he kind of lost to that.
Match 2?
I played against a Orzhov deck whose allied guild was what's it called? Blue-white. Was Aureus. And that was when that was the game the Sim Manipulator just took over. Like, it wasn't even a fair fight. Sim Manipulator just ruled him both games. His deck seemed good, but he was playing Orzhov, so he was playing a lot of of the Basilicus creatures and Kingpin pets, a lot of the 2/1s and stuff like that.
Right.
2/2s with abilities, but I just took them and nothing you could do about it.
So he had a good deck, probably.
He had a good deck.
Your deck just had a way to extort his creatures.
My deck was just a terrible matchup for him. I think he ended up going 3-2 and being like the last person not to make the top 8.
Oh.
So
Dream crushed him.
Round 3, I actually lost.
You lost the round?
I lost the round.
Okay. So I'm guessing you top 8 it then, and then
and I won the top 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So round 3, the guy was playing everything but blue.
4 color, huh?
4 color. He had a lot of fixing, and he just had a lot of really good cards. And game 1 was a back and forth matchup, and he ended up getting it with what's that card called? 2 black, 2 white, and X, and target player loses X life, or each opponent loses double X life, and you gain that much life.
Yeah, I didn't know the card.
Yeah, and so he ended up playing it for like 3 when I was at 7, and I was like, oh, put you at 1. I can get in for 2 with my attacks, so...
Yeah.
That was one of the only 2 times I ever saw that card be relevant all day, because I watched a lot of matches, and I watch people play that card a lot and have it have almost no impact on games. That card I thought was way more disappointing than it should have been.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I guess it really
because
doesn't...
you have to be playing as a 7-drop for it to be getting almost any value.
Yeah.
For it to be 6. Because at 6 mana, with 2 double colors, well, that's they lose 4 life, you gain 4 life. That's Soul Feast. We already know that should cost 5 and not 6.
Right.
So that card just is a little bit too mana intensive, I think, and it was never as game breaking as people thought it was going to be. It was always like that was one of the 2 matches I saw thing be relevant in. The other one, the guy played it for like 6.
So do you still play it? I mean,
I don't.
no.
I maybe if I'm in a, I probably draft it later, if I'm playing a more control-y Orzhov deck, and then if I'm going against some kind of control mirror, I can board it in. Or not mirror, but some kind of other really slow control deck where I might have 10 lands out and I can be like 24-point life swing.
Right. You're not gonna play it against Rakdos Boros.
No. It's completely a late pick for sideboard against some of those slower decks.
Okay.
Then game 2, he played Aurelia, and I wasn't ready for that.
Smash face. Okay.
Yeah.
Round 4.
Round 4. What did I play against? Round 4, I played against a guy was main shell Boros, and his other guild was, I believe, his other guild was Izzet. And both games are pretty good. Like, both games are kind of tight, but it just, being able to populate just gave me more gas than him.
Well, plus you got tacos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Simic Manipulator did some work in that game, too. It didn't take, like, all of his dudes, but it took a couple dudes, and that was just enough.
Simic Manipulator, he loves dudes.
He does. He loves them. He loves to take them out.
Yep. And then was that split the top, or cut the top 8 then?
No, it was 5 rounds, but at the end of round 4, there were exactly 8 people with 9 points or more, so we all just drew in.
Oh.
But it paid out to top 16. So a lot of people played to shock position to get in the top 16 to get a couple packs each.
Right.
And I really don't know how that round went because I just kind of drew. Because I didn't have to play. First round of top 8.
Wait, well, do you open new packs?
No, we played our same seal.
Okay.
First round of top 8. Playing a guy that had Rakdos Boros.
Okay.
And my 3/3s were just better than him. His creatures. I ended up actually, the card that I was never, I kept going back and forth in my deck between playing a Windrake and the 0/5 Defender for 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know which one of these is better. And I think I've decided that I value the 0/5 Defender for 2 slightly above the Windrake.
Just because of that 5 ass?
Yeah.
That ass.
Oh,
it's so
it evolves your guys. You're in blue. You're probably playing some evolve. It blocks so many. It blocks everything early game. It's like, no, your early drops aren't getting through.
It's Kraken Hatchling.
Yeah, it's really good. And so I think I decided I like that guy better than Windrake. And
it really depends on what your deck's doing too.
Yeah, I had a ton of reach in my deck too, so I really wasn't. I had Krakenora. I had 2 of the 3/3s with reach and scavenge.
Yeah.
I had another reach guy too. I don't remember what it was, but I had 4 reach dudes and I had 2 other flyers. So I was like, I can deal with flyers even without this guy. So I was okay with that.
Okay.
So I played that guy, and my creature just kind of outclassed his. Next round, my opponent didn't really do anything. He got Mayo screwed, and I beat him. And round 3, it was a Selesnya, and he had a Zoria, so it was Bant versus Bant in the finals. And the big difference there was I had a Sigma Manipulator and a Guildmage, and he didn't, and they won the day.
Okay, and that was finals?
That was finals. That was for finals first tournament. Second one was Swiss +1, and basically what I learned in that one was, turns out playing Naya efficient creatures is really good. Like, if you're a Naya, you're playing a lot of efficient creatures, and that's going to win you a lot of matches.
Yeah, so like,
And I made a mistake in that second draft. I should have. I think I should, or second limited. I think I could have won that one too. In the first one, I played 18 land and 2 Cluestone. I played 20 mana sources, but knowing that 2 of my mana sources later in the game could just draw me into something else.
right?
The next one, I just went with 17 land. I always wanted to try the 17 land build, and I was having. I mean, I got second in it, but I was constantly having to dig myself out of mana issues.
Hmm.
And when I played against the one really good player who won the tournament, really good player, he didn't let me dig myself out. I was buried before then. I never really had a chance to dig myself out against the really aggro deck and a good pilot on it.
Hmm.
So I really am now thinking, if you are not the super aggro deck, 18 lands and maybe 2 Cluestones. I think 20 mana sources in this format's probably right. It's really slow.
So we were correct.
At least in sealed.
Okay.
Sealed and draft play differently.
That's true.
The
draft could be completely different. I mean, we could be drafting Rakdos Boros and just smashing face.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like yet. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say how you're going to draft it, because until you draft it, you just don't know.
Right.
Sealed gives you a monogram of idea,
right.
but not a huge idea of how it's going to play. So, but sealed was definitely slower. It was a lot slower format.
Well, usually sealeds are very slow, just in general.
I didn't think Gatecrash was.
I'm saying usually.
Yeah.
Because you don't have as much control over your deck. So if you're trying to build the fast deck, you can pick those cards over the slow cards. While sealed, you'll get the slow cards regardless if you want them or not.
Yeah, it's certainly the slowest sealed that I've seen since Alara Reborn hit in Shards Block.
Mm.
Like, Zendikar sealed was quick.
Yeah.
Zendikar Worldlink sealed was quick.
Yeah.
Rise sealed was mid-range. It wasn't that slow. It was mid-range.
Yeah, that was actually surprising.
All the M sets are pretty quick because you have a bunch of bears.
Right.
Innistrad Block?
It's kind of slow, it's just everything dies.
Yeah. But Innistrad Block was pretty aggro.
Okay.
Actually, I take the Avacyn Restored was stupid format, just in general. In Sealed and in Draft.
Yeah, skip that one.
Yeah. Good. I wish I had. I wish I could get that time of my life back. And put it towards something that wasn't Avacyn Restored.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but it wasn't Magic.
Well, it was that you missed Avacyn Restored. That means you missed like one good card.
Darn. I want to also know, was our predictions on the guilds, how accurate was that in your opinion? In terms of like, okay, Demir's bad, Boros will get worse, things like that.
Well, here is how our top 8 flushed out, okay?
Okay.
Of what the players actually picked, you had in our top 8, 3 players who picked Selesnya naturally, and 1 player who ended up getting as their secret guild. So half of it was Selesnya.
Okay.
And the one who got as their secret guild was playing Boros. 2 of those top 8s were Bants, and the other one was Selesnya Orzhov. Then in the other top 8, we did have someone who picked Dimir, but their deck was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. They played 5 colors. Okay.
Okay.
And they played like 6 Cluestones and 16 lands. So they played 22 mana sources and all just fixed, and it's like, here's all the best spells. I'm just going to play every good spell I have.
I'm wondering if that's what's going to
I don't think it is, because he got knocked out first game pretty easily by someone playing a more consistent deck. Even with the format slowing down, that's a little too slow.
Yeah.
And then, what else? That's 5 of the decks. There was someone who was playing the 4 colors, but blue, he was in there. And then, that's 6, and the other 2 were Rakdos Boros decks.
I mean, in general, do you see the Boros getting... It was worse.
Boros absolutely dominated Gatecrash, and it was only 2 of the top 8 here.
Right.
Like, I think we were right on with Selesnya being...
Very good.
Very good. I think it just worked best with the secret guilds. I don't know how it'll do in... what's the next seal going to be? 2/2/2, right? Isn't that going to be regular sealed? I don't know what it'll do in 2/2/2. But in Guild Pack, it was...
I'd say probably still good, because it has fixing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can
It's
it
fixing
goes
and
well
has
with
efficient
anything.
guys, yeah.
You know, like what's wrong with the 7/6 in sealed?
Oh yeah, what's wrong with the 2-mana 3/3?
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
The
with
scavenge is just, it has so many mechanics that just ensure your deck to be better and populate and, you know, like
reach.
yeah. And things like is it, you play the spell, it has a cool effect, but then it's done. That you're never replaying it, you're never reaping the benefits of it. You know? It's like Selesnya, you play it and you start cashing in, you know, you start getting some I don't know what the word is. Some
return on your investment?
Sure, some ROI
Mm-hmm.
on your cards. And eventually it gives you a huge advantage,
Yes.
given enough time.
I agree.
Okay. I want to ask you about something else.
Okay.
So, you have those flip cards, right? Split cards.
Yeah, the fuse cards, yeah.
Yep. How often did you see someone, like, they're playing it, they draw a card, and then they turn their head?
All the time, and you know, I didn't play with one, and I was still doing that.
Yeah?
I would draw a card and turn my head. You're like, the people are going like, what card did he just... What? People were trying to figure out which one I just drew.
Right.
And I actually just drew, like, a mountain.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean... Or, you know, but I would fake people out with it all the time. Just look at my hand and go... And just leave... Or they can't see me, but just, like, lean my head to the side and, like, try to read my... Like, read my cards. I know what all my cards did.
Right.
So,
I thought maybe... Because I know I'm going to have to read the card again, because I always remember incorrectly or, you know, think it does one thing when it does another.
mm-hmm.
So I always, just to make sure I'm playing the card correctly, I read it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking if I were playing IRL rather than online, I would hold it sideways.
In your hand?
Yeah, all of my cards. Because I'll most likely know
What the non-flip or what the non-fuse ones do?
Yeah. Because that's 2 cards I have to remember for one.
Yep.
So 2 pictures I gotta remember. So I'm probably gonna remember what the, you know, and I could always just, you know.
Here is something that I think
More
people
likely.
take for granted that changes a whole lot, at least opening packs of Dragon Maze. The majority of Dragon Maze is multicolor cards.
Right.
Do you realize how often you use the borders of the cards when you're drafting?
The borders? What do you mean?
I mean, the colored borders of the cards. You now have to look at every single card and look at its casting cost. You never had to do that before. If you are in... I mean, you didn't really have to do that before. But, like, if you were in green, you just kind of looked to see where the green cards were, and you immediately knew which ones were green. They had the green border.
Mm-hmm.
The gold ones, you know, so you're in 3 colors, look at the gold border, never distinguishes which color that is. So you have to be looking at all... It's just something you take for granted that you don't get in this.
I see.
People will be drafting this set slower because they can't just immediately, like, look, read their 3 red cards they see.
Right. That's true. Maybe they should, you know, have their colors instead of gold. It should just be like the 2 colors.
But
Haven't they done that before?
There's,
Oh, that's for multicolor, yeah.
That's, or not multicolor, that's for, what's it called?
Yeah.
Hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
I also want to know, did anyone play Restore the Peace?
Yes.
Or Restore the Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Lots of people tried it.
well, did anyone play it against Selesnya and have other tokens bounced? Did they live the dream?
I'm sure someone lived the dream.
Did you see it, though?
I did not see someone live the dream, but it doesn't really matter. You're letting that, you're losing so much, like, you're just letting those guys get through or something like that. It's just not very good.
Right. And,
Like,
you could potentially be bouncing your own cards.
Without the Guild Mage,
Right.
if you don't have the Guild Mage, you're not making as many tokens in this sealed format as you were before.
Right.
So, you are maybe bouncing 3 tokens. No, I'm living the dream. I'm bouncing these 3 creatures. Woo! Oh,
Hey,
they still
that's
have a wall.
pretty good.
And if they have the Guild Mage, they're probably not swinging with it unless it's lethal.
Right.
You know? And so then there's like, okay, I'm going to bounce your tokens. Okay, I'll make more. I mean,
So yeah, I agree. Not very good. But I was just wondering if anybody lived the dream. I I'm still a fun gamer at heart. You know,
Yeah.
where little cool things that happen, where it's stupid, it's fun, and it's cool that it happened. That's what, those little things about Magic is what keeps me going.
Oh, one of the other cards that I'm trying to tell anyone to pick this card very highly, but Unflinching Courage is amazing.
What does that do again?
3 mana, so it's a white, a green, a colorless.
Uh-huh.
Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 trample and lifelink. Like, that card just takes over games. Just takes them over. It's like, okay, my, what's it called? The 3/4 hexproof Rumble Belt Rhino, whatever he is.
Right.
It's like, well, now he is a 5/6 trample lifelink hexproof. Have fun with that.
Huh. Yeah.
Like, that is the best creature enchantment they, common or uncommon level, they've made in a long time. It's better than Holy Mantle. It's better than Madcap Skills. At least in this block. It's not as good as Rancor, because Rancor comes back, but...
Yeah, Rancor is amazing.
Yeah.
But even better than... You said Holy Mantle.
Better than Madcap Skills?
Get to Zorzal.
Get to Zorzal? Yeah, I think it is. I'd rather play that over Get to Zorzal.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, enchant creatures. Remember how we were always, you don't play them. It's just awful, 2-for-1. Now it's like, if they don't have it, you just could potentially win with this,
Well, but that's always been true with them, but the difference is, we always played some. But, you still don't play Primal Visage, or whatever it's called,
yeah,
or
Mr.
Alpha
Pussy.
Authority,
Right.
or you still don't play the bad ones. But there's always been a few good ones you can play.
But, yeah, there's been the occasional good ones, like Armadillo Cloak, or Ancestral Mask or something. But I'm talking like, the majority of them were Holy Strength.
Well, yeah, but you still don't play them very much in Standard. Like, what's the last enchant creature you play in Standard?
I meant Limited.
You can play in Holy Strength Limited. You did in the...
Not Unholy, Holy.
Oh, Holy.
Yeah. I'll play Unholy.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the majority are the equivalent of Holy Strength.
Yeah.
And now it's just these enchantments, they're ridiculous to me. I look at these and I'm like, this is ridiculous,
I think if you look at the majority of them, they're still not that powerful. I think if you look at the majority of them, they're still a Holy Strength category. We just are better at Magic now, so we see the potential in some more ones now.
As opposed to
this one you
just don't play in the
But this one is
all-encompassing
just
rule.
Armadillo Cloak. We knew to play Armadillo Cloak before, like...
Right.
And it's really
okay.
Ancestral Mask? You play that? +2/+2 for each enchantment?
Oh, I played that on my Rabid Wombat all day.
Yeah, but not Unlimited. They were in the same Limited format.
Okay, fair enough.
Limited, you did not play Ancestral Mask. And, well, maybe you did. Maybe you were like the guy who was like, I'm going to take them 10th and 11th and 12th pick, and it's triple set because it's all a mask block. I'm like, I gotta have 9 of these things, and I'm going to go to town.
Hey,
I'll get
it was
all
a
the
strategy.
2-for-1s.
It was a strategy.
And the reason I like the new Armadillo Cloak better than the gift is the gift does give evasion, which is pretty cool, but the gift really isn't removal. This is sort of like, it's damage because it's trample, it's life gain because it's lifelink, and it's removal because they kind of have to block the thing. So you're also kind of taking out their dudes with it too.
Okay.
So that card, like, even when I've been 2-for-1 with it before, it almost always took out 1 or 2 creatures in the path. So it was almost always actually like a 3-for-2. Because those 2 creatures died because of it.
Right.
And it also, gained me 12 life or 15 life, whatever it was gaining me.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good wrap up. Definitely going to be playing in the release once it gets on Moto. So look for that. It has been requested that this be downloadable, so you can go to listentoyoutube.com and put this URL into there, and that will download into MP3, and then you can put that on your listening device. Won't say any brand names. I will give a link to that in the description.
I will tell you one brand name women listen to.
What's that?
iPods can't play MP3s.
Yeah, they can. You can convert them.
You can convert them, but they can't naturally play MP3s.
Oh, okay, whatever. Mine can. I can make it. Anyhow.
They play MP4s, don't they?
I don't remember.
Or they play Apple, screw you, we use proprietary software shit.
Yeah, I can make it work.
I'm sure most people who have one can.
Yeah.
If I figured out how to do it, I'm pretty sure anyone can.
You don't need to be a computer programmer to figure it out.
No, you need to click convert.
Not even that. You just never mind.
No, you can just go to it and click convert. You can just tell iTunes to convert things for you.
Yeah.
So if you guys can't figure that out, here's your side.
Thanks for that, Robby. Let's really alienate our listeners.
We've been doing that all along this podcast. We started at the very beginning with you saying you didn't care about them. So.
Yeah, but they know I love them.
Sure.
All right, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Because you know you want to hear. It's like an abusive relationship. You know you love it. See you next week.
The Paladin way more. I guess it's an uncommon, so you see it more. But, I mean, I have beat stolen identities just by being like... Yeah. Like, I wasn't playing, like, pile drivers, and I was like, ball lightning.
And your goblin deck.
It wasn't even a goblin deck. It was